Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. If we are meeting for the first time, my name is Cecilia and I do videos on sewing for beginners. I'm doing a series of sewing tutorials on simple, useful projects, and I plan to make it easy and fun. So today I'm making a tote bag. Now this is a very easy to make but very useful. These are some of the tote bags that I've made, and I use them for my shopping all the time. It's your bag, custom it to what you like. If you like a colorful tote bag, go for a colorful one. They are light, easily foldable, which you can place in your handbag and you'll be ready for your shopping at any time. And they are washable. They're machine washable. You can use any fabric you would like for this tote bag, but I would recommend canvas, especially waterproof canvas. Without further ado, let's start. There are 4 simple steps to making this bag. The first step is getting your materials ready. So for this, you would need fabric that is 18 inches by 36 inches. 18 inches wide by 36 inches long. 2 straps, and I found the straps which are 4 inches wide by 25 inches long, good for me. But you might be taller than me, or you might prefer a longer handle. You can always make it longer or shorter, it's up to you. I'm also going to attach a key ring to this tote bag, because if you're going to take it to the beach, you want to attach your keys somewhere. So for this, I have 4 inches long by 4 inches wide, and a swivel and a ring. So that is the first step, cutting your fabric. I've also serged the fabric because it would fray. So I've serged it, and if you don't have a serger, you can always use the zigzag stitch on your sewing machine. So I've cut the fabric, and now the second step is to prepare the handles. Well, you can sew the handles, or like this bag, you can actually buy this ready-made tape and just use it as handles. It's up to you. So this is a handle that is sewn on. And if you can't be bothered to sew the handle, you can always buy this ready-made tape, which is sold in meters, and cut it 25 inches long and use them as handles. So now I'm going to sew the handles together. What I've done is I have folded the fabric into half, and then on each side halves again until they meet in the middle, and then fold it to meet in the center. So the 4-inch fabric folded into half, and then half again becomes 1 inch. And what you do is you would sew the fabric at each edge. On either edge, you sew it down. So I've prepared the handles, and now the next stage is to attach the handles to the fabric. The best way to do this is to draw a line 3 inches from the top of the fabric, and then you fold it into half, so it would be 1.5 inches. Then you find the middle point and insert a pin to mark the middle point. And from that middle point, you would insert the handle 3 inches on either side of that middle point. 3 inches on either side of the middle point. So make sure that the handle is not tangled. It's on the right side, it's not tangled, and it sits well. So 3 inches on either side of the middle point. Then place a clip to hold on to that handle. And do this same for the other side. Ironing down the fabric to meet the 3-inch mark is a good idea because it makes sewing so much easier. So now we go back to the sewing machine and we stitch right across, reinforcing the handles because that's where the stress point is. So we're going to sew right across and we're going to reinforce the handles. So you would stitch the fabric right across to reinforce the handle. You would turn the handle up this way and you do a stitch line right across and you do a crisscross on each handle. So let's do another stitch line across and just go across. And you do the other side as well. So I've sewn the top, I folded it down, I've inserted the handle, I've stitched it across, and I've done the crisscross stitch. And I'm going to do the same for the other side. So again, I'll repeat the steps. You just sew across, and then you bring it up, and then sew across another time, and then do the crisscross stitch. Now that we've attached the handle and check that we have snipped off all the unnecessary threads, we will attach the key ring, the swivel key ring. This is how you do that. Got your fabric 4 inches wide and by 4 inches long, and do it exactly the same way as we have done the handle. Half it and half it again. So this is what you get, and you would attach it somewhere on top. Let the edge stick out a little bit. So this is how it will look. So you attach it on the pretty side or the right of the fabric towards the edge. This is going to be hidden by the seam. When you sew the two sides together, this is within the seam allowance and it'll be hidden by the seam. But I like my keychain to be somewhere on top because it's easy to find it. Okay, so let's just attach the key ring. You want to have a bit of reinforcement, so I would suggest sew it a few times, and maybe twice or 3 times. Twice would be sufficient because when you sew the seams together, you're putting another line of stitching. Okay, so we have done the handles. I will even attach the key ring. And now we are on the third step, which is attaching the two sides of the bag together. So this is the third step. And use some pins. Make sure that the tops align and the handles align. And you attach the two sides together. You might even want to put some pins on the top so that you're sure that it aligns, and pins on the other side of the bag as well. Okay, so now we would sew the two sides together, and I always like to have 2 stitch lines because that way I know that the bag is strong. So I've sewn one side of the bag. Remember to always cut off the unnecessary threads. Now I'm going to sew the other side of the bag. Make sure that the swivel and the ring is on the inside of the bag, on the pretty side of the fabric. So in other words, when you sew the sides together, you're sewing the two right sides together. Always sew the two right sides together. For this part where the swivel is, I didn't serge. So to prevent it from fraying, I have done a zigzag stitch. Actually, I've done 2 lines of zigzag stitches so it shouldn't fray. Now the bag is almost ready, just the final stage. So the final step is doing the gusset. This is the gusset. So the bag will not be flat, but have some depth, and you can carry more things. Obviously, if you are happy with a bag that's flat and looks like this, that's okay. But I always like to have a gusset. It just looks better, and as a tote bag, it can carry more. So I'm going to show you how to do the gusset. So to do the gusset, there are many ways of doing it, but since we are here for a simple project with no lining, quick and fun and fast, I'm going to show you the easy way of making the gusset. So usually my gusset is about 3 to 5 inches. For a tote bag, it's preferable that it's 5 inches for me, for my purposes. You do what suits you, but I like the 5-inch gusset. So to get the 5-inch gusset, you would make sure that the bag is right in the middle. The side is brought right in the middle, and the two, to know whether your bag is in the middle, the 2 edges should meet, and that's how you know your bag is right in the middle, or you got the middle point. So once you've got the middle point, you open up the stitch line and use your measuring your ruler. So I want 5-inch gusset, which means it's 2.5 inches on either side of the bag. So 2.5 inches on either side of the bag. That's a 2.5-inch mark, and that's 5 inches from edge to edge. Use your marker pen to draw so you can sew a straight line. Use your clips, hold it on so that you hold on to the mark, and you use your clips on three edges. And let's just do the other side as well. Again, hold the bag right so that the edges meet and you know you're on your center point. Open up the bottom edge of the bag and let it meet the other bottom so you can see like 2 triangles. And now we measure 5 inches, which is really 2.5 inches on either side of the bag. So That's your 5-inch mark. Draw a line across. Put your clips. And one on this point so you don't lose your markings, and just stitch right across. So I've done the same on both sides of the bag. Or you can cut this off and serge the end, or another simple way is just to turn it. The reason I'm doing that is because I have no lining and I want it to look neat on the other side. The edges are okay because they've been serged, but the bottom, I don't like to see the tail. So I just turn it and stitch across. Now that you've done the gusset and you've neatened the gusset, check your stitches and turn the bag over. Check the gusset on the other side and check for stray threads. You can cut it off. The bag is ready. And you even have a swivel for your keychain. This is a fabulous bag, not just for shopping, but going to the beach. And when you're not using it, fold it. It's very light, it's waterproof, and into your handbag.